Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. Now that Nnamdi Kanu's case has been adjourned to January 2022, a lot of political pundits are beginning to analyze the situation in broader perspective, and it has sparked a lot of reactions. Lawyers, former chairman of National Human Rights Commission, and others have decided to lend a voice in the situation. Don't forget, right now Nigeria is very tense, insecurity everywhere, and it is bringing cause for concern to all Nigerians. Before we go into the news proper, like it, subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified and send us to update our channel on YouTube. A lawyer and a former chairman of the National Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi speaks with on the Anambra State governorship election, the insecurity in the southeast, and issues around 2023 elections. And this is what he has to say during the interview. He said they asked him, despite the outrage over the bringing down and violence in the southeast and assurances by the security agencies, he said this has not abated at all. It's still continued. Why has peace been elusive in the southeast? And this is his response. The southeast is a part of Nigeria, and peace is very elusive in Nigeria under the current government. 7 years ago, the crisis of violence was mostly confined to one geopolitical zone or two. Now, only the southwest is spared something close to generalized violence. So you have to ask yourself, what has gone wrong? The irony is that this is happening under a president whose claim to fame was that as a general he had ready-made solutions to Nigerian security crisis. Clearly, Buhari is part of the problem, not part of the solution. So, the crisis in the southeast Nigeria has to be seen in the context of larger trends in Nigeria. The other thing is that it also has to be seen in the context of the electoral failures in the region. It is not an accident that the rise in the crisis in the region is connected to the Supreme Court judgment which installed as Governor Hope Uzodinma. What this means is that he has neither the political incentive to do anything about the violence nor the authority to find solutions, even when those are not too far-fetched. So this crisis has multiplied and trajectories and severally as well. There's not one theory that really explains it all. They asked him again. Some leaders in the region have called for a political solution to Kanu's issue, but the federal government has even amended the charges. Do you subscribe to a political solution? This was the response he gave. The amended charges I have read are mostly laughable, and that is notwithstanding the fact that Terrorism Prevention Act has set a framework of extraterritorial criminal. Okay. Has set that a framework of extraterritorial criminal responsibility. It appears clear to me that the design is to find an artifice to keep Mr. Kanu detained for as long as possible. The problem with the so-called leaders in Southeast is that most of them have really not acted in a manner to accrue any political authority to themselves or to create the impression that they desire to be taken seriously. The other problem is that, in fact, the regime at the center thinks the idea of political leadership in the Southeast is an oxymoron. You can see that with the president going to inaugurate a gutter in Owerri, or with the All Progressive Congress, which has fewer than 35,000 members in Anambra State, claiming to have had a primary in which over 320,000 people voted. To use a contemporary tone of phrase, they are just catching a cruise at the expense of Southeast. This is quite deep. Then I asked him another question. The chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, David Umahi, recently appealed to Reverend Father Mbaka not to criticize the president as they were making efforts for Kanu's release. What do you make of that statement, and do you see that approach working? He answered, I will not waste my time on the multiple harlotry of Mbaka or of the political gigolos that importune him all the time. My problem remains how his bishop in Enugu, Reverend Dr. Callistus Onaga, continues to tolerate this kind of willful debasement of both the pulpit and of the spiritual authority of the Catholic Church. As for the governor of Ebonyi State Governor Umahi. I will not dignify that aspect of the question with acknowledgement. I guess there's actually some political undertones going on here. All right, but let's look at this very critically. He has made mention of quite a lot of things. He talked about the political solution to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. He took a sweep at the governors of Southeast, saying that they have not given themselves enough political authority to be taken seriously. And he's saying that some of the issues, one of the major reasons why South it seemed to always be under tension, always tense from time to time, is simply because from the days of Hope Uzodinma, how he was, according to his words, I'm using his words now, installed. He was not elected. He said he was installed by the Supreme Court, and that judging by how it all happens, the people's will have to count. In that, if the people's will is not Governor Hope Uzodinma, according to him, I'm only paraphrasing now, which means that it may not have the capacity to carry the people along to bring lasting solution to Imo State, and the Southeasterners are generally wary of any other installment, quote and unquote, of any other persons or as governors or leaders or senators in their zone. So they want the mandate of the people to count. Typical example is what happened in Anambra State, where pundits are just warning, please, Presidency, whatever you're doing, do not repeat what happened in Imo State and Anambra, because Southeast is going to go up. But looking at what he's saying, he said, look, all the amended charges of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, he said it sounds very laughable. That obviously, from all indication, according to him, and I'm quoting him, that they amended those charges that just to have any reasons, or rather to have a long reason to keep detaining Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from time to time. But to start with this issue of detention, he's been detained in DSS. The case is not civil. The way the adjournment is going, if they continue like this and they just enter the courtroom and they adjourn in 2 months, before you know it, 2023 will be over. Because if they were adjourned from something that ought to have started since June, they shifted. They say, okay, the court is going to have a recess, and the yearly recess, annual recess. They shifted it to October. It started from October. They met the first time. They said, okay, November. They shifted it from November to January. Now, if they move from 1 month, they move from 2 months to 1 month, 1 month to 2 months, 2 months to 3 months. They may just come into court and they adjourn. Come into court, then you could just see, and that is more like playing on the intelligence of the people. Come on, if there's a charge against him, let this thing flow. Let the whole world hear it. Let him defend himself, and let there be a verdict. And don't forget that international bodies will definitely be observing this hearing. So it's quite a dicey one. But even at that, they're still arguing the process of which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came into Nigeria, and they're saying that it is definitely wrong. So you see that the whole scenario is a quite clumsy one, especially for the federal government. That's why we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our comment section. What's your take?